Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Dooley J. Little nigga, we don't play. Got a problem with my dogs, or shorty, you know they gon' slay. Got a problem with my big nine, baby, you know we gon' glaze. I just shot a nigga head off, look, baby, I'm D-Wade. You get it? Cause D-Wade used to be shooting that shit. Hey, come on now. I really got them vibes now. Alright, look, let me stop about that dick eating on myself. We got another video, another banger. This bitch is called They Forgot Him on the Moon, but he accidentally becomes the last human alive. So that title to me sounds already interesting. I don't know why, but I don't care. But pretty much y'all already know the vibes, man. We finna get right into this video. Enough of that yapping. Sit back, relax, and scratch your ass crack, nigga, cause yeah, y'all know vibes.
After millennials of revolving around Mars, a massive asteroid called Pi is advancing toward Earth and will crash in 8 years, which could wipe out humanity. As the world panics, the UN discusses the situation and allows China to form the Project United Nations Moon Shield or UNMS. The plan is to make a huge base on the moon, build a supernuclear weapon called Cosmic Striking Hammers, use this weapon to destroy Pi, and use the moon's orbit as a shield to save Earth from the resulting debris.
They think all this shit gonna work.
The moon, and the interviewer isn't impressed by him describing himself as a middleman and average. Instead of an engineering position, he's offered maintenance. Desperate to go, Yue accepts, and soon he's flying to the moon with a whole crew of astronauts. 8 years of hard work pass and the team finally launches the superweapon, which they happily celebrate. However, Yue's attention is on Langsing, the base commander who he has a crush on. In his free time, he practices how he could confess his feelings, and he's always there at the door whenever she comes back.
Man, look at
However,
this
Langsing doesn't even know who he is. Sometime later, Yue stays in his room listening to music while trying to write a good confession letter. Meanwhile, Langsing receives terrible news. A solar storm has caused one of the missiles to go off course and some asteroid debris has escaped the lunar orbit. In 27 minutes, those asteroid fragments will destroy the base. Langsing immediately raises the alarm and orders everyone to evacuate. But since Yue has headphones on, he doesn't hear any of this and stays in his room. All the astronauts rush to get in the evacuation rockets and finally abandon the moon. It isn't until Yue looks through the window that he learns about this.
What you doing in this moment, right? Like, let's say your dumb ass already was like, fuck it, I'll be the first person to go on the moon. So you already on the moon, and they doing the evacuation, and you ain't even peep. You got your AirPods in. Shorty, you know how much I be crying? Boy, I be bitching in this moment. He immediately
gets on a car and drives as fast as he can,
noticing
that all the rockets have left except for one. Yue starts going faster as he tries using the radio. However, the debris is too close. And
he actually tweaked. I would have not done this.
There's a crater ahead and Yue tries to jump over it instead of avoiding it, but he ends up falling. At that moment, Langsing launches the last rocket, leaving Yue stranded on the moon. Yue climbs out of the crater as the asteroid debris crashes on the moon. He starts running around dodging the rocks to reach the base, which soon begins getting destroyed as well. Now Yue also has to dodge the falling pieces of building as the base goes down. After being knocked down once, he tries to make a big jump to hide in the crater, only to be knocked down again.
What is this dumb ass
While he's unconscious, a huge asteroid fragment makes its way toward Earth. When Yue wakes up, he starts complaining and tries to contact the UNMS. At that moment, the asteroid fragment finally crashes on Earth, causing a massive explosion that destroys a large part of the planet. Yue can only stare in shock and sorrow as he realizes their 8 years of work were for nothing.
What you doing in this moment? I know, this shit sounds stupid already, but what you doing in this moment? You on the moon, you see the Earth blow up, you looking like a dumbass standing there. I ain't gonna lie, in this moment, boy, I'm crying like a bitch. I ain't gonna cap. It's nothing you can do, bro.
Afterward, Yue returns to the base and tries to contact Earth, but he never gets an answer. For the following 6 days, Yue keeps on calling to no avail. He then realizes he's the last human alive, which further pushes him into poor mental health. Using paper, he decorates a room for a pseudo-funeral to honor humanity. The base still has food to feed 300 people and will last him a lifetime, so Yue decides he'll do what he's always wanted to do. First, he tries to get into Langsing's room, but he can't guess the right password.
So they didn't even crash.
Next, he grabs a board and slides around the moon just for fun.
You know what I do?
As days pass, Yue keeps on trying passwords to the point of insanity. Eventually, he gives up and uses an explosive to open the door, which blows up his clothes too. Now that he has access to Langsing's uniform, she creates a figure of her and prepares a whole dinner with romantic music to confess his feelings.
I would do some shit
he even
like
starts
this.
kissing the figure, unaware he's being watched. It turns out there are survivors on Earth and now...
You mean to tell me this whole time while I'm getting freaky with the mannequin, these niggas watching? Oh yeah, I would be shitty right now.
Langsing is embarrassed in front of her colleagues. Civilians are in underground bunkers while the astronauts are in the UNMS underground base. After some work, they've managed to connect to the lunar base, but they can only watch Yue through the cameras without sound because the radio isn't working. Because right now Earth is lacking resources, it'll take them 2 years to fix the communication system and even more to rescue him.
Damn.
The UNMS chairman decides they can use this for good and shares an update. The asteroid impact has fractured the planet's plates, which has been causing tsunamis that flooded 30% of Earth's land mass.
Oh nah,
Cities are
this
covered in
shit's scary.
volcano ash and toxic gas, so soon there won't be any plants or animals left.
Y'all think this
In
shit
the
gonna happen
underground
soon with the
bunkers,
way Trump
people
been
try to
talking?
keep plants in jars,
That
but it's
nigga
hard to
been
keep
talking
them
about
alive
them
without
missiles
sunlight.
lately, boy.
Diseases and depression are spreading among the survivors, who only get the most basic meals to survive. Some people are even losing their hair. The chairman thinks they should start live streaming UA's
Nigga
life in the
going
lunar base so
bald.
survivors can get a glimmer of hope in these dire times. Since they don't have sound, they decide to hire a voice actor that can dub UA's voice to make him look heroic.
What the
Lansing
fuck?
makes an announcement through the speakers to let all the survivors know that they've found a man on the moon and that the stream will start in 30 days.
These niggas about to
Some people
start
don't believe
streaming
it and
and shit. This shit
suspiciously
crazy.
disappear.
What the fuck?
A few weeks later, UA is in a deep depressive state and decides to self-delete. He makes his way to the warehouse to get some medicine for the job and finds an open food package in the corridor that he didn't drop.
Oh.
UA opens the warehouse door and is shocked to see a beautiful figure lying down.
What?
Thinking it's a woman, UA starts flirting as he comes closer, only to discover it's actually a kangaroo left
How the fuck y'all get a kangaroo on this bitch? What the fuck, boy?
behind by the research division. At the same time, Lansing starts the live stream, so the first thing everyone on Earth sees on the screen is King Kong Roo. The voice actor they hired yells "What a fantastic day," making it look like the kangaroo talk.
What
To apologize
the
for his
fuck?
mistake, the actor tries to play his flute, but that only gets him beaten up. Thankfully, the survivors assume the audio is delayed and don't think the kangaroo is actually talking.
Okay,
so
good.
Lansing decides they'll
I'm
make
about
the
to
voice
say-
actor narrate instead. On the lunar base, UA reads the research regarding Kong, learning he's aggressive and gluttonous, which is why he's been raiding the pantry. He grabs a shovel and goes back into the warehouse to
Boy,
get the
that's not
medicine.
gonna do nothing.
When Kong appears behind him, UA waves the shovel only for it to break. Then Kong grabs the handle and bends it before beating UA.
What you... Hold the fuck up. Hold on, I gotta run that back. Dog,
UA waves the
what
shovel
you
only for
doing
it
in
to
this
break.
moment?
Then Kong grabs the
You
handle
try to
and
hit
bends
the kangaroo with the shovel, this nigga bend it like he just that nigga. Dog, I swear on my life, I'm getting on my knees and I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't know what else you want me to do, but shorty, I'm a bitch for the day. It ain't
before
nothing
beating
to do.
UA up. Next, UA dresses up as a female kangaroo and tries to keep Kong distracted.
What
But
the-
when he's about to reach for the medicine, Kong brings him down, tries to do the naughty to him.
Oh!
This causes the mask to fall off and UA gets kicked off the warehouse. Moments later, Kong starts advancing into other parts of the base.
He gonna
Then
fuck
UA
this whole
appears with a
thing
Gatling
up.
gun that he just 3D printed and opens fire, shooting plastic balls at Kong as he chases him around the base. However, Kong suddenly turns around and starts chasing UA instead. As the voice actor plays his flute to make the scene epic,
What the
UA and
hell?
Kong start fighting each
This
other
is
hand to
them that
paw.
anime.
After lots of struggle, they knock each other down at the same time. The UNMS is worried about him and tries to contact him again. When UA wakes up, he hears some static on the radio. There are no words, but he cries because he sees this as a sign that there are survivors on Earth.
You damn
What
right.
UA and the UNMS don't know is that the static was caused by Kong's tail messing with the cables.
What the fuck?
UA and Kong stare at Earth as they realize they may have a chance to go home, and they agree on a truce from now on.
How the fuck
Although
does a
Kong
kangaroo
punches him
know-
anyway. Over 200 days have passed
What
since the
the
incident,
fuck?
and UA never stops
Niggas
playing a
just
message
whacked
to
his
try to
ass.
contact Earth. He and Kong have found their routine, and UA announces they've become a family. Since it's obvious that Earth won't be coming for them, UA decides to modify the spacecraft left by the old Apollo 18 mission, hoping he can fly home on his own means.
Shit.
While people in the UNMS discuss if they can use this to help him too, Kong and UA leave on the car and quickly find the Apollo. UA runs a test and confirms it'll work after some fixing. The Apollo is brought back to the base, and people on Earth watch UA work hard on repairing it for
This
multiple
nigga,
days.
how the
The
fuck he become
UNMS
an
is quite
engineer out
impressed, so
of
they check their
nowhere?
profile, realizing he's actually an engineer that somehow ended up in maintenance. Eventually,
Ah,
UA notices
fuck,
that
y'all.
Apollo can only carry
Damn, I
22
just scratched my
pounds,
fingers.
and Kong alone weighs more than that. Feeling like he has no choice, UA takes Kong for a ride and abandons him in the middle of the moon.
What?
However, Kong chases him and quickly gets back on the car. When they return, UA
Nigga had him
starts
in the
researching a more
headlock.
powerful propulsion system and discovers that the prototype of the superweapon is still stored in the previous base. Kong and UA leave on the car with a bunch of supplies and only stop traveling at night because the vehicle requires solar power. It'll take them weeks to reach the old base because it's on the other side of the moon, and people on Earth worry that UA may not make it since the sun only shines on the moon for 14 days per lunar cycle.
What
Soon the
the
UNMS
fuck?
realizes UA has been driving in the opposite direction to chase the sunlight. The trip will take longer, but he won't get stuck. Now UA has 41 days to get to the base and can only sleep 4 hours per day. The first
4
few days UA
hours?
and Kong keep each other entertained, but eventually the trip begins taking a toll on their mental health. One day UA wakes up to find Kong driving and talking, but this is just a dream. After accidentally driving
Yeah, I
into a
gotta
crack,
watch this
the
movie,
duo
bro.
finally makes it to the old base. Soon UA finds the warhead and carefully brings it down. Kong suddenly starts pressing a button repeatedly and UA panics, but thankfully it's just the inspection program. While they're getting ready to go back, an angry UA locks Kong up in the trunk to keep him away from trouble. Afterward, he starts
I
driving to
think
the
he about to
base,
leave
playing
him.
music as a distraction. This stops him from hearing the trunk accidentally getting separated from the car.
Stupid ass nigga.
Hundreds of miles later, Yue finally notices the missing trunk, but going back for Kong would mean missing the sunlight. At first Yue drives away, but eventually the guilt is too much and he goes back to save Kong.
Cause you a bitch.
As everyone on Earth celebrate this decision, a happy Kong licks Yue to thank him. In the UNMS, Langsing orders the entire team to find a way to contact an old lunar dog that was left behind by another mission, which hopefully could help Yue. At the same time, Yue and Kong keep on driving without stopping to sleep, otherwise they'll miss sunlight. After staying awake for over 50 hours, they notice that the sunlight is leaving them behind, but they don't give up and speed up. The temperature starts dropping and Yue has to turn on the heat not to freeze to death, which consumes the car's battery even faster. With only 35 miles left to the base, the battery finally dies and the car stops. Yue gives up and comes out to wait for the end. In the UNMS, the team finally gets the dog to start moving, but it's still too far away. They try making a jump over a crater as a shortcut, only for the dog to fall and break.
Let me know.
Back to Yue, he keeps thinking about Langsing while staring at her picture on a mirror. Kong starts chasing the reflected light like a cat, giving Yue an idea. He rips off the car's door and uses his tools to transform it into a sled, which he attaches to Kong. Then Yue flashes the light ahead of them and Kong starts chasing it, moving the sled through the moon's surface. Eventually they find a big chasm and Yue makes Kong jump across it while activating some gas tanks that give them the necessary propulsion to make it to the other side.
It's not ET.
Everyone on Earth celebrates with hope and excitement, and there's an award ready for Yue for when he comes back. Humans gain more hope and work hard on fixing structures while signs of Yue and Kong decorate the bunkers. Thanks to this hard work, the UNMS only needs 3 months to regain communications with the lunar base. 516 days have passed since the incident and Yue is still working on connecting everything, which is harder than he thought because Apollo has outdated technology.
Damn. One
afternoon, Yue gets excited because he finally hears static on the radio again. However, when he turns to Kong, he finally notices him messing with the cables. Yue tests them with his own hand to be sure and his mind finally breaks as he realizes all his work and suffering has been in vain because he's the only human left. He yells at Kong for a while before the depression takes over his mood again. On Earth, the UNMS still needs a month to finish fixing the comms. Refusing to give up, Langsing uses the speaker system to talk to all the people in the bunkers. He admits Yue isn't a hero, he's an average man they left behind by mistake. But he's been working hard to be a hero for a whole year, so he deserves people to support him in return. Langsing asks the survivors to turn on their flashlights and shine them towards the moon to tell Yue he isn't alone. At that moment Yue opens his helmet, and he's starting to lose oxygen. However, humanity comes together with flashlights and even lighthouses, lighting up the Earth to prove they're alive. A shocked Yue falls to his knees in tears. Finally, by day 613, the UNMS fixes communications and Yue gets to see a human face again. After the initial celebration, Yue spends his days talking to the team, who has found the Apollo blueprints and guides him on how to connect the old technology with the new. Now Yue gets to see Langsing every day, and he thinks they're becoming friends. One night after they're finally done with the repairs, Yue tells Langsing that he initially turned down the maintenance position and left the interview. On his way out, he saw Langsing and her smile made him change his mind. Moved by this confession, Langsing makes one of her own. When she was evacuating, she did see Yue on the crater, but she left anyway because rescuing him would have killed them all. She also admits she'd do it again. Meanwhile, something in space is approaching Earth. The next day, Yue and Nog finally board the Apollo and get to leave the moon. There's some turbulence at first, but soon they make it to orbit and everyone on Earth celebrates. In just a few hours, the Apollo safely reaches the lunar station and Yue and Kong go looking for the escape pods. Unfortunately, on Earth, they receive terrible news. Another large piece of the asteroid that has been floating around the moon has been pushed out of orbit by the rest of the debris and is now coming towards Earth. They've named it Pi Plus and it will destroy what's left of humanity. The team realizes that the only one who can save them is Yue, who would have to pilot the warhead toward the asteroid with high chances of dying in the process. Volunteering to do the talking, Langsing contacts Yue while live streaming the conversation. However, Yue already heard everything because they left a mic on and he's ready to do it because he wants to protect Langsing and humanity. While survivors are told to hide in the bunkers, Yue cries as he shares an emotional goodbye with Kong before sending him back to Earth on an escape pod. Afterward, Yue takes off in Apollo and discovers there's a field of meteorites on the way. Yue concentrates on piloting to dodge them as the Apollo gains speed, but unfortunately the ship gets hit anyway and begins spinning out of control with a broken thruster. Yue doesn't know what to do, but luckily Langsing has a plan. He must open the door so the depressurization can compensate for the rotation momentum. Sadly, the door is jammed, so Yue starts kicking the hatch until it opens. This effectively makes the Apollo stop. At that moment Yue sees the ship's engine floating away, meaning the Apollo doesn't have power. He has no choice but to move the warhead manually, but before leaving, Yue tells Langsing he doesn't blame her for leaving him behind and asks her to livestream his last moment. Then Yue leaves the ship and gets the warhead ready while offering a heartfelt speech as his goodbye to humanity. Everyone on Earth cries as UA uses his jetpack to guide the warhead toward the asteroid.
This
While
was
Kong's
like
pod
an
lands in
anime,
the ocean,
nigga.
UA sings during his last minutes. The pressure of the asteroid destroys a suit,
How
yet
the
UA
fuck
doesn't
is
give
he
up, and
doing
once he's
this?
close
What
enough,
the
he asks a crying Langsing to activate the explosive. A huge explosion destroys the asteroid, and all the survivors come out of their bunkers to watch the meteorite shower that symbolizes they're safe, but also that UA is dead. Over 10 years pass and humanity has been working hard on rebuilding Earth to make it beautiful again. There's still much more to do, but at least now they can be outside in the fresh air. The chairman has retired, and Kong has a statue in his honor. He also lives with other kangaroos in
Look
reserve.
at that, y'all.
Meanwhile, Langsing flies with a new group of
What the
astronauts to the
fuck?
moon to clean up the old base.
Why would y'all do
There she
that?
imagines that UA is by her side watching the remains of Pi Plus form a planetary ring around Earth. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.
I
Thanks
guess.
for watching.
Hey, listen though, I actually like this, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Whoever made it, good job to them. I ain't gonna lie. This was actually a good ass, entertaining little video. But damn, bro. I mean, look, all I gotta say is in the comment section below, if you somehow made it this far to the video, my nigga, you let me know what you would have done that whole time. I ain't gonna lie, I would have done half the shit Buddy did. Dead ass. I would have gave up, been fucking around, and if I would have seen a kangaroo nigga, I probably would have just died or some shit by him, by beefing. I don't know. But for them, y'all let me know what y'all would have done. I'm finna hit the motherfucking dip, but you know I ain't gonna trip. Shout out to my little bitch. Got a problem with my niggas. When I really take your trip, I don't give a fuck about you, baby. I'm gonna hit the blip. These little niggas looking crazy, baby. I'm really the shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. If you peep the flow, you peep the boss. You know what I'm saying? Okay, then. Now, like, hey, I got the boss now. But nah, let me stop all that trolling. I'm finna hit the motherfucking dip. And other than that, Dooley J, I would have it out. And nigga, y'all know the vibes.